Powered by Riverside FM.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, teachers of all ages, welcome to Choey and Chandler's The Fun Time Super Terrific Happy Hour. Welcome, Chandler.
Welcome, Choey, and welcome to our first pod match guest, Dr. Danny. And then I told Choey I dressed up for the occasion. You see, I went a little classy, you know? I told him I was going to wear a tie, and I think he thought I was joking. And I decided, hey, what better way to class it up than drink a glass of wine?
There we go. This is a what? We're season 3, and that's the first I've seen you drink a glass of wine.
Yeah, you know, wine. I have nothing against wine. I like white wine because I like to chill it. But wine's more a thing for me that you don't really drink with dudes. You know what I mean? It's not really like like a man drink when you hang out with boys, you know, or bros.
What's it? I mean, different kind. Like you can do it when you're like doing more upscale stuff, but it's not like.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you do like wine at like a football game or something like that.
Real quick, let's jump into our holidays. Whenever I find the sound thingy, there it is. Nope, there we go. Right one.
Here are today's effing holidays.
All right, so we record a little early, but this episode is for May 9th. And our May 9th holidays, which apparently I didn't look up, so I got to do that on the fly. Apologies, guys.
You're fired.
I know, right? I am fired. Maybe one of these days, Choey, you'll do some work too, you know?
I'm the headliner. I'm the talent, sir, remember?
That's true. Saving your voice, right?
While you're doing that, I'll cover with some. Like I made us a website, like a
What?
fledgling website. Well, because the idea was to make a website.
I take that back. You do work.
And then okay. Like it bothers me with these internet. Another thing that bothers me besides sharks, obviously, and prequels, right? Is like the stuff that it says, oh, free apps or free this, free that. So I was gonna make us a Choey and Chandler app. And I went through the whole steps, and it was like, hey, it's a lot more seamless if you have a website. So I was like, all right, I made it myself. Made us a little website through Google Sites. And then I got through all the steps in the app. And then it was like, all right, great. You got everything going. Pick which plan you want so you can finish up your app. And I was like, no, you said free.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm not paying
your time
$10
was free.
a month. Yeah, I was like, I'm not paying $10 a month for an app. Who knows who's going to download it?
That'd be awesome to have the app, though, you know?
I mean, if buyblacket.com comes through for us, then we'll get it going.
Hey, Dr. Danny Brassell, did I say it right? Or Brassell?
Brassell.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Kind of like Sam Cassell.
Hey.
Did you know that they're on the website nationaltoday.com, if you want to invest $5,000, you can make any holiday you want?
That's only $5,000. You know, in California, you can run for governor for only it's around I think it's $6,900 if you get 1,000 signatures for you to run, but it's only $690 if you can get 10,000 signatures. So I encourage you, instead of spending the money on a national holiday, why don't you just run for governor of California?
and then just legally do it, right, in the state?
Yeah. Well, then the rest of your life you can say former California gubernatorial candidate Chandler Bing.
Yeah, well, it would have to be Chandler and Choey. We talked about this before. We'd run together, and we work like half the time. You know, it's one on, one off.
Good.
Hey, Choey, since you brought it up on May 9th, did you know today is Fantastic Friday for your favorite sea-loving animal out there? Yes. Fantastic Friday. We want you to partake in some fantastic awareness drives. So I'm gonna guess you don't watch Shark Awareness, like Shark Week, right?
I do. That's where the phobia came from.
Oh, Shark Week.
Yes. There's some scary stuff out there, man.
Hey, in honor of wine, today is also National Moscato Day.
Oh, hey, there you go.
Your chance to raise a glass and celebrate the history of this tasty white wine. A couple more. This here says it's Lost Sock Memorial Day. You ever lose a sock in the dryer? Did you hate that?
So usually what ends up happening, though, is they get stuck in the drain tube in your washing machine. You just never really catch on to the fact that when you move it over from the washer to the dryer. Like, because I've actually, when I fixed the washer like 3 years ago,
yeah,
like 3 different socks. Yeah, 3 socks in there. It's gross.
Does it remind you of the Jerry Seinfeld bit about the sock like trying to hide and escape?
No, it just grossed me out because like they were not clean the way that they normally look whenever they come out of a washer. That's for sure.
And the last one I'll talk about is Alphabet Magnet Day. And I don't know about you, but I always like putting that on the fridge, man. But I use it all the time in class now with students.
Fun stuff.
I'm gonna guess you don't have any at home, right? Your kids are older than that, right, Choey?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we ever had it when they were little either. We just had like little magnets. And we put like their little drawings and stuff whenever they would come home with them.
Hey, Dr. Danny, how about you? You got magnets on the fridge at home?
Not anymore, but when the kids were little, we did. And then I had them when I had my beer fridge in my classroom. I always had alphabet letters for them. So.
Wait, did you say you had a beer fridge in class? Is that what I heard?
There you go.
Man, talk about the times, you know?
I'm like, I want to teach in that place.
Makes it very enjoyable.
but me and him have talked before. By the way, the whole podcast was his idea a couple years ago. And when we first did it, remember we were just drinking, basically.
Yeah.
We were just stacking beer.
Imagine
doing it in class.
Season 1, episode 4 is definitely probably our most happy hour ever.
I think you can tell, like, as we get going, you know, you're like, yeah, they've had a couple more, you know. All right, I'm gonna real quick. I only got one headline, but I'm gonna move over to the headlines.
It's time for this week's edition of Choey and Chandler's headlines. Yay! Hooray!
These sounds, man. Like I said, back to where I don't hear it, but I have to edit it. My one headline this week. The others I have, I'll save till next week, Choey. Map testing started yesterday, right? And it was working for like 35 minutes, and then just completely crapped out. And so we had to like redo it today. But I don't know about other states, but teacher tip money, like incentive money, is directly related to that. And I remember joking with teachers, I was like, I think we should all get paid now because this is going to affect everything, you know? There's no way kids are going to be in the same mindset now. So it sucked, but it worked today, you know?
Your TIA grant money is tied to that?
Yeah, like based on, I said tip. Yeah, TIA, it's based on, did they meet projected growth? You know? Mm. So like say they got, I don't know, 10th percentile at one point, you're wanting them to grow, right? If they got 50. There was a kid and one of the other second grade teachers, he was 99 percentile last time. So even if he gets to 100 percentile, he would not have quote unquote met his growth. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't look good for her. And like, that's not fair, you know?
Yeah. Dr. Danny, like I'm not sure if like Colorado has the kind of same thing. I'm not sure how familiar you are with Texas. Like they came up with a TIA. It's an acronym for teacher incentive allotment. And essentially, like if teachers are able to kind of hit that, they can get some bonuses. It's a good in theory because you have some teachers that can hit like if they're hitting all their stuff up to like a 6-figure salary every year. But I mean, it's difficult to hit that for sure.
Yeah, and then I think even if you got it this year, you wouldn't get paid at least for a year, right?
Yeah, they gotta verify all the data to make sure they're not just handing that stuff out. That's for sure.
Yeah, so it's gonna take a while. All right, so like I said, that's all I got for that, and then we're gonna move on to just talking with Dr. Danny here, right?
Sounds good to me.
Y'all can see my screen, right? Well, I mean, even if you can't, hey, Dr. Danny, is there anything like? Do you want me to? Before I ask you some questions, is there anything you want to share on your profile? Because there's a lot of interesting things here that I read.
Well, I mean, if I was going to write an autobiography, it would be called Pivots because I've lived about 9 lives so far. Back 30 years ago, I was a journalist covering President Bush Sr. in the 1992 presidential election. I had a great job. Got to meet editors from around the country. One editor of a major daily offered me a job doing the city beat for $16,500 a year. And then a friend told me that they were hiring teachers in South Central Los Angeles for $25,000 a year. So I became an educator for the noblest of reasons, for the high pay. And so I taught most of my career in the Compton and Watts area in South Central LA. I've taught all age levels from preschoolers all the way up to rocket scientists. I can make that claim because I used to teach English as a second language to engineering students at the University of Southern California. Then in 2005, my wife and I attended a real estate seminar, which turned out to be a scam, and we lost everything. And I could pout and whine about all the bad things, but I'm a positive person. First of all, my wife's my soulmate. I put her through the ringer, and she stuck right by me. She's pretty incredible. Second of all, I no longer view money as the end all be all, because I learned you can lose it just like that. Third, I try not to judge other people, because if I was somebody who saw what I did, I would have said, well, you deserve that. But now I realize if you don't know everything about a person, you really don't know anything about a person. Fourth, I became a Christian, which I'm always embarrassed to admit, but the more I read the Bible, I'm not the first screw up to find Jesus. And fifth, I didn't want to file for bankruptcy, and my accountant said, well, you have to make this much more money this year. And so I started speaking on the side, and I hit his number right on the number. Well, then the next year, he gave me a much higher number, and I hit that number right on the number. So in year 3, I thought, well, maybe I should set a higher number. And so basically, during one of the worst economic downturns in American history, I was able to build up a highly successful speaking business. And then I started, about 10 years ago, I started coaching people on how to speak, but I was working with different companies. And the problem I saw was that these companies would train about 30 to 50 people in a room. They'd charge them $10,000 each on how to put together a speech. But the people left, and a lot of them, their speeches weren't really put together correctly, and we didn't know if they were effective. And so then one of the other coaches and I, we started our own business where now we work with entrepreneurs and business leaders and executives on how to create what we call a well-crafted story. It's just this is a speech that you deliver again and again to introduce yourself to new audiences. And so I've done all kinds of, and I still speak over 100 dates a year, primarily, a lot. Heck, almost every August, I spend the entire August in Texas doing all kinds of different convocations, reminding teachers, not to quit, because we actually still need you. So I love it. I love everything that you're about, and I like that you're keeping it light, because we're losing too many great educators because they're stressed out.
Yeah, amen to that, right? I know, well, I'm switching school districts, but the district I'm at right now, they're on a hiring freeze. And so it's basically there's a lot of teachers that are going to be displaced from one school to another. And the district I'm going to, they're blowing up. But that's on the outside of San Antonio. So when you're outside the city, there's more there's more room for growth and stuff. Real quick, when you've done your speaking engagements, what's the biggest crowd size? Any idea?
I think the biggest was about 5,500 so far.
Man.
Yeah. That was in Texas. It was a back to school convocation, got everybody in there. I mean, in my speeches, I don't tell anybody anything that they don't already know. I basically remind people why they do what they do. My philosophy is I take my job seriously. I don't take myself too seriously, because I ain't all that, and neither are you. And if you think you're all that, teach kindergarten for a week. Those little ones will set you straight.
Well, they don't set you straight. They're gonna drain all your energy out. What are the two? You're gonna be exhausted.
Yeah.
So.
I love dealing with the kindergarten kids. If you ever need an ego boost, they're always there. They love everything about it. They love your shoes, your shirt, your hair, your this, your that. And it's thank you so much. Y'all are such positive little kids.
Yeah,
I love it.
Choey, I don't think I ever told you this story, but one of the times because kind of like you, I've done everything from preschool to 8th grade, right? But I was in a kindergarten class one time. I was subbing, and as we're dismissing, one of the kids looked at me and he's like, Mr. Bing, you look like a dad. And I looked at him, I was like, I don't even know how to process that. I was like, what do you mean I look like a dad? And I was just like, yeah, they say some of the craziest things. But there's no filter with those little ones,
Well, shoot, kids do that all the time. The oldest one, who's now a senior, last year when he was a junior, one of his friends snapped a picture of me at the local gas station when I was walking in and sends it to him, says, saw your dad, just like every middle-aged white man that's out there. And I was like, dude, I had shorts and a t-shirt and Crocs on. Who doesn't dress like that? And I was like, what is that supposed to mean? I like found the kid at school like that, and then the next weekend I was like, hey man, kind of hurt my feelings. And he
It's
was
not
like,
like it's not like you were sporting your fanny pack or anything, right?
well, I'm like, I am a middle-aged like white man dad. Like that's what I am. Like, what do you
Yeah.
expect? Like, how am I supposed to dress? Like, I'm going to the gas station to get gas and like some beer. I'm not gonna go like dress up all crazy.
Yeah, you gotta get all dolled up to go there. Hey, all right.
I guess.
Few questions here. My first actually really second question now. Dr. Danny, I saw in your bio, right? Can you explain what it means when it says you've been called a Jim Carrey with a PhD?
Again, I like to bring humor into everything. I mean,
Okay.
and that's why I like teaching the little one. I mean, I did it the wrong way. I started off as a high school teacher, then they put me in middle school, then upper elementary, then lower elementary. And pretty soon, instead of preparing kids for college, I was coming home with snot marks all over my pants from my little ones hugging me all day. And they just always made me laugh. I used to always tell them, like, the average adult laughs 15 times a day. The average kindergartner laughs 300 times a day. So your job is to make me laugh 315 times a day. They get all stressed out how they're going to make me laugh. And they're just brutally honest. I'll be like, LaShawn, a question. LaShawn is like, Miss Brassell, when are you going to trim your nose hair? I'm like, this afternoon. Thanks for that.
I like your thought there, or your challenge there before you said that. But no, you're right. Like, and me and Choey talked about, I'll ask, and he's had similar stories, but you're like, I'll ask, does anyone have a question? And they'll be like, it's my uncle's birthday. And I'm like, that's not a question. It's like, what are you talking about? That's not a question there at all.
Yeah.
Well, kindergarten, I call it New York, New York, because if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere, because they have a 7-minute attention span, and you learn how to keep them moving.
And like halfway through that, well, I guess once you get past lunch, half of those kids are like, when are we going home? Like, what time is it? Like, when are we leaving?
You and me both, brother. You and me both. We're trying to figure it out.
That's right. When I taught first grade, I had a kid. Because when I taught kindergarten, we only had half. In my first year teaching kindergarten, I had 48 in my AM and 43 in my PM. And since I was a dude, they gave me all boys. This is when I started drinking. And when I taught first grade, one of the little boys is putting on his backpack after lunch. And I'm like, no, in first grade, you get to be here all day. And he takes off his backpack indignant. He's like, well, whose idea was that? And I'm like, just like Choey just said, you and me both, buddy.
I'm still just envious of the fact that you had a beer fridge in the classroom.
I didn't. That's it. I am joking.
I was like, you're my hero.
Well, I know that one of my teachers, like a couple of years ago, they had one of those mini fridges, right?
Yeah.
Didn't you win a mini fridge, Choey, from graduation?
No, it was a TV.
TV. All right. I thought somebody won a fridge, but like now you can't even have that. Like even a little mini fridge, like it's like, I don't know what the reasoning is, but you can't do it.
Electricity, man. It's electricity, and then they got to worry about the safety of fire stuff.
It's not that. But all right, Dr. Danny, what's the biggest mistake most speakers make when they try to sell from the stage? I guess when they try and sell themselves.
That was a huge transition.
Yeah.
I'll tell you here. I'll do a better transition. What's the biggest mistake I've ever made as a teacher? The stupidest.
Oh, there we go. I like that. You interviewed yourself.
The stupidest thing I ever said was my first day teaching kindergarten. I said, "All right, kids, line up," and they were going crazy. And by the end of my first week teaching kindergarten, I sounded like a cop reading Miranda rights. I'm like, "Everybody, put your hands behind your back as you get behind your." You have to be so explicit with them. The other stupidest thing. When I was teaching first grade, one day I told the kids, I'm like, okay, kids, write about your lives. And they look at me like I'm from outer space. They're like, we're only 7. Nothing's happened to us. And I'm like, no, man, things happen to you all the time. I'm like, hey, when I was in first grade, I had a teacher. She called me stupid and smacked me on the hand, got me to cry in front of the class. And so the next day I was walking to school. I had an apple and I peed on the apple and I gave her the apple. And it was the best apple she had ever had. My kids are like, that is awesome. This is also the reason I've never accepted food from a child. So I totally encourage you and everybody in the audience as teachers, you got to totally write down all those stories because you'll forget them otherwise. And I look back on all those and they're just story gold. In terms of your question about the biggest mistake that
we don't. I like your answer better. We don't have to go to that part. You know,
we don't
I think
have.
You're right. It's like keep it score related, because that's one of the things that, at least to me, I don't know about Choey, but that's why I try to start reaching out on Podmatch, because I'd like to hear from more teachers. You know, just people that I know. You know, or that he knows. But you remind me. I know what it was. I don't know why I do it, but kids are always asking me how old I am, and just for some reason, I don't like telling them the years, so I tell them the months. Right? Like right now, now I'm telling them, I'm 545, and I just say 545. I don't even say months, days, whatever, and they're like, no, that's impossible, because I deal with second graders, and I'm like, it's true, I'm 545. You know.
I think that's a pretty good strategy, Chandler. I mean, when I have 3 kids, and when the kids were, when they're young, it says, oh, your child is now 8 months old, so they should be cooing and doing stuff like that. I'm like, oh, actually, we should do that our entire lives. Oh, Danny, he just turned, 543 months. He's starting to lose his hair. He's lost his sex drive, and he's looking at 401k plans. I mean, something like that. we do.
I will say, I'll just not piggybacking exactly on what you just said, but one of my kids, I want to say about a week and a half ago, I heard her tell one of the other students, she's like, he's 45. So she somehow did the math, and we don't even teach multiplying and dividing. I was like, man, that's awesome. Hey, Choey is gonna laugh at me for this, but when you taught in the inner city, was it anything like the movie Dangerous Minds?
No, I always resented that title, because that movie's based on a great book by Louann Johnson called My Posse Don't Do Homework, and it was cool, because I was the only man at my school. I was the only white person at my school. My students were predominantly Hispanic and African American. Most of my colleagues were elderly African American women from the South who all had been teaching for at least 20 years, and I was blessed. I had a great mentor, Mrs. Turner. She'd been teaching for 40 years. Mrs. Turner was from Alabama. She believed in 2 things: discipline and the Bible. When her little ones got out of line, she started reading aloud Revelations to them. I learned everything I needed to learn from that woman. Actually, the best thing she taught me was I had a principal one year, Voldemort, and he liked to come in every day and tell the kids I was the worst teacher on the planet. And finally, I was getting stressed, and Mrs. Turner took me under her wing. She was my guardian angel, and she said, Miss Brassell, next time you have negative energy come in this room, you do as I do. Repeat after me. Uh-huh. I go, uh-huh. She go, uh-huh, uh-huh. I'm like, oh. Now shut the door and do it your way. She's like, I've been teaching here for 40 years. They've had 35 different reading programs. I got one, mine, and it works. She was just the greatest. And it was funny because my friends outside of school started saying, Danny, you're starting to sound like an African-American woman, because I was hanging out with African-American women all the time. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sitting there like talking, and I'm like, oh, but it was great. They made me feel very welcome. And I would never teach. Even though I was making a lot of money as a public school teacher, I decided to take a tutoring job after school for the fun of it. And I used to tutor in a very affluent area, and I absolutely would never exchange teaching in the inner city. I treasured the kids. The reason I left teaching had nothing to do with kids. It had a lot to do with bureaucracy, like when are you going to get paid that TIA thing that they're talking about? I doubt they'll ever pay you. It drives me nuts. Teachers are always spit on. It drives me nuts.
Well, I told, and actually, I don't know if I've told Choey this. Hope he's still there, by the way.
Am I coming through?
Well, your picture's frozen, so I was just.
No, I know. Like that's. I look like some scary movie picture, like some horror movie thing. Like I just got killed.
I was thinking the Shroud of Turin or the Sixth Sense was what you looked like.
There you go. There we go.
No, what I was gonna say though is, I've told people, if I get out of teaching, it's not the kids. Kids can be frustrating, but it's the adults, and really it's the people making decisions. It's like, it's the no offense, Choey, as an admin person you are, but it's more like
I'm not anymore.
but it's more like the superintendents of the state. I dislike anyone that says, "Hey, this is how you should do it," and I'm like, "You've never been in a classroom. You have no idea what you're talking about." And I will tell you this: if you haven't been in a classroom since COVID hit, it's way different now.
Yeah.
Because I was there before. Me and Choey were there before COVID, and we're there now, and it's completely 180. It's just a lot more you got to worry about. I didn't catch what year were you in LA? Were you teaching there?
Oh, I started I started in the Clinton administration. I'll give you that as my answer.
Okay. No,
I'm like, why are you gonna put him on the spot like that, Bing? What's up with that, man?
Well, the reason I asked, right, is I remember a great movie called Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, that's why I became a teacher. Was that movie?
Yeah, and I was trying to think, because I know that's about LA. I was trying to think that was obviously what happened before you. So I was just curious.
Yeah, no. So that Jaime Escalante was my inspiration for becoming a teacher. When I saw, wow, I would love to be able to have that kind of impact. And I go in thinking I'm going to be the great white hope, and I learned a lot more than I think I bestowed upon the kids. But it was a very humbling experience. I mean, and I use humor all the time, because if I can't use humor, it'll kill me because of the stories. Your you guys know this, the stuff that kids will share with you, it just breaks your heart.
Well, a lot of times kids something will happen, or kids will say something, and I'm trying to write it real quick so I remember to joke about it later on our podcast or to talk with him. And actually, he and I both kind of got to the point where if we get a funny story, we save it until we're on the podcast, because then because that way we get the authentic laugh. You just catch them off guard or whatever. But I remember. I was also going to say about that movie is I watched that in high school, back when the teachers would actually show movies. Now, if we show a thing, it's got to be a short 5 to 10 minute clip. But we actually watched movies on a VCR, with the TV cart and everything. It was a whole I think it took 3 days to watch this movie one time. A math class, but it was a good math class.
What class was that?
It was math.
So
it was the one you missed out on that we thought you were with us. It's 3 days, man. 3 lessons. Just watching us.
I wasn't. I'd already taken pre-cal. I wasn't in the class. What? What hurt my feelings the most is you're like, remember, and I was like, dude, I wasn't in that class with you. And you're like, you weren't? No.
We sure thought you were.
I was not.
We sure thought you were. You any more stories, Danny?
Well, when you're talking about the movies, when I was in high school, my high school Spanish teacher was Mrs. Edgerton. Mrs. Edgerton was about 183 years old, and the way that she taught us Spanish was every day she'd go in and say, "Buenos dias, clase, repite buenos dias." We go, "Buenos dias." She's like, "Que bueno." She'd go to the board, shaking, and she'd say, "Okay, repite, estoy, estás, está, estamos, estáis, solamente en España." Están, every single day. This is how we learned Spanish. And then she let us create dialogues, and if we did a good dialogue, we got to watch Man of La Mancha on Fridays. And of course, we were in high school, so every dialogue we did was a drug deal. We'd be like, "Hola, Paco, ¿tiene el dinero? Sí, tiene hierba buena." It's just this ridiculous stuff. And so
it's clearly stuck in your head.
That when I became a teacher, I'm like, man, I hope I don't have a student that was like me, because I was just obnoxious.
Well, I told Choey, and Choey made fun of me last time. I think, see, me and him, our Bio 2 class, junior year, we were goof offs, I guess would be the easiest word, right?
Nicest way to say it.
Yeah, the nicest word. Well, now I'm starting to get payback for some of that. Yeah. And I don't think we were bad, but we weren't we weren't there to learn. We were there to clown. That's what we were there for. But now I'm just these kids do stuff to me, and I'm just I guess this is what comes around type thing, But it's frustrating.
So let's clarify that. We weren't there to clown. We were there to learn, but the stuff, we're not geniuses, but at the same time, it wasn't that difficult. So either kudos to our teacher for making it into the way where we easily caught on quick enough, and we were able to just goof around a lot, because we were in double block schedules. So we had the A-day media things. We were stuck in that class for an hour and a half every other day, Like, it was a long time to sit there and listen to somebody trudge on who was only fractionally better than Ferris Bueller's like history teacher from that movie. Like, he was not very, like, he was just,
That's
it wasn't
Ben
interesting.
Stein, by the way, man.
You know what, Ben Stein,
Stein?
I do, but I'm just saying that was Mr. Foster, barely a little bit better.
Dude, I remember. See, I never liked science growing up because most science, especially middle school, high school, was notes. It's just all these like notes. We would copy notes. And now I went to college and it's trying to do it in school for me. It's trying to get my kids to do hands-on, touch some kind of science thing, right? But yeah, it was very boring for us because we would just lecture after lecture, and we would keep ourselves entertained by doing some of the stupidest stuff, but it made us laugh. But I was telling, actually talking to some of my teachers I work with today, the one thing that really clicked that junior year was we did behavioral traits, like with the Punnett squares. And for some reason, I think it's because of the math part of it, it clicked for me. And there were we were in AP class, and there were a lot of, actually, we were some of the very, very few boys, because mostly girls. And there were a lot of people that weren't getting it. And I was trying to explain it. And I remember them being like, "You know this?" Because they knew that me and Choey goofed off all the time. I was like, "Yeah, I know how to do this. Yeah, we're not stupid. We just act stupid. We know what we're doing." So, but hey, I'm gonna lead us to our break. We'll come back, right? We have a little quote unquote ad, and then we'll do some fun stuff to end it. Okay?
All right.
Sounds good, sir.
All right. Danny, I hope you like a little country. We're sending a shout out to all the countries that listen to us. 22.
Gun bay, cheers, mate, and cheers, mate again, or simply cheers. Sometimes it's short towels and tea, other times it's cheers. Are you effing hoser? You effing hoser. We also say so day, salute, or to gay. Skull, let's all say. Nastarovi in the Russian way. In Vietnam, we shout out, yo, Walugi Wawa, make South Africa glow. In Portugal, it's a solid soda, and Bud Mo, Ukraine's here to stay. For Jamaica, it's a loud yaman. No matter the place, we drink till dawn. That's how Choey and Chandler cheers around the world.
Hey, Choey, I keep looking. So, I don't know how, Danny, but 22 other countries besides the U.S. have heard of Choey and Chandler, right?
That's right.
And we actually have, we do have an Instagram, but we had to create a second one because somebody hacked our first Instagram account, right? But I think, and I told him, because the first Instagram account, a lot of our friends were people from India, and I think because he's Choey, I remember asking some of my friends that are Indian, I was like, "Hey, is that an Indian name?" Because we were just getting all these like invites, but no, I always like to look and stuff, but no, Choey, no new countries yet, just so you know.
Well, still, I mean, we will reunite the world in whole eventually.
When you did the math, what would you say we were 1/8 of the world or something like that? 1/20?
I don't
remember.
I can do it here in a little bit, sir.
All right. Hey, real quick ad here this is our special guest, Morgan Freeman, Danny.
Hi there. I'm here to help Choey and Chandler to read an advertisement for buyblacket.com. Please shop buyblacket.com. Are you looking for unique gifts at unbeatable prices? Then look no further. Buyblacket.com has quality merchandise for everyone on your list, from gifts for cat and dog lovers to American fans, beer enthusiasts, and even Jesus lovers. As for teachers, we didn't forget about you. Please don't miss our funny attire to brighten up your classroom. So bring a smile to your loved ones' faces and shop buyblacket.com today. Tell them Choey and Chandler sent you.
Gotta love AI, right?
Love it.
Gotta love AI.
Hey, you said 22 countries, right?
Yes, besides the U.S. So 23 with us.
So roughly 11.3% of the world listens. Well, has somebody listen in their country. Not 11.3% of the world. I think we'd have a little more money in our pocketbooks if it was 11.3% of the world.
We should just start saying 11.3% of the world, though. Don't forget that 0.3, right?
I just like saying that half the country listens to us because people are like, what? And I'm like, yeah, there's people in half the country, like the states.
Over half, 27.
All right.
Yep. All right. I guess I'll have to add that in later. All right. So, Danny, one of the things I like to do too is, and Choey probably knows this, he may not always remember, is I like to throw surprises at him when he doesn't know stuff's coming. And I'd be like, gotcha, right? So, in honor of your, you're doing speaking and stuff, right?
Danny, all right.
I found this quiz online, okay? And we're going to figure out what's your spontaneous speaking style. So I'm going to ask Choey questions. We'll go through it. We'll see what it tells him, and then I'll share with him or with y'all the style that I did when I did it, or the style I got. You ready, Choey?
Well, I think we need Dr. Danny's on here too. Like maybe.
Oh, you want him to do it?
We can do both. We can do me and him. No.
Okay, well, if we do that, we gotta do one and then come back and do the other.
Yeah,
does that make sense? Because I can't. You know what I mean? Hope you know what I mean. Because it'll only do results for one person. Then I gotta reset it or whatever. Does that make sense?
I got you.
Yeah. You smell what I'm stepping in?
Well, I wasn't paying attention to your screen. I was trying to figure it out on the slides because whenever you say that, I'm like, did he accidentally slip it into the slides and I can figure it out before he does it?
So I purposely kept it out because I knew you might look at it. Yeah. And then I started putting it in out because I was like, nope, Choey's not pre-gaming for this one. All right. All right, Choey. So you're invited to give an impromptu toast at a friend's birthday dinner in front of a dozen people. What is your likely response? You say, I'd love to, and spend a few minutes brainstorming. You then give a short, amusing toast with appropriate anecdotes. You notice lots of smiles, and your friend tells you how much your words mean to them. Or you say, well, okay, if you insist. You then duck into the bathroom and come up with a 15-minute talk that covers the last several decades of your friend's life. You don't want to leave anything out. Choice 3, you always love the spotlight, so you immediately hop up and you wing it. You throw in a few jokes that you've been practicing. Or last one, you suddenly remember that your cat needs her asthma medication and you duck out the back.
Well, I'd roll with either one or two, one or three in this one. I just don't know, if it would, if at the end it would be they'd be so excited about the words that meant, how much the words meant to them, because there might be some where they're like, dude, why'd you share that in front of my parent? We'll go with one, though. We'll go with one. We'll go with one.
All right, question 2. You're asked to co-present a collaborative project, and you conduct a question and answer with your team at the next staff all-hands meeting. Your role will be presenter. When you have time to review the material beforehand, you're confident. To create
We're gonna go with that one. I read those answers. Yeah, I'm always
okay.
I'm in the spotlight, sir, whether or not it's good or bad.
All right. Question 3, your last job interview, however long ago it was. You're proud of your ability to provide concise answers, impress the interviewer, distract the interviewer, or you avoid any mistakes and go get a drink of water.
Let's go with B. Impress.
B. Impress. Click. You see the CEO of your company behind you in line at the local coffee house or bar, whatever, right?
Yeah.
You turn around, smile, introduce yourself, and compliment him or her. You take the opportunity to share your extended thoughts on the company's strategy and provide some new ideas. You turn around, smile, and enter a short conversation about your beverage and weekend plans, or you just focus on your phone.
Let's go with one.
One. All right.
I like talking to people. That's where the whole podcast came from.
Halfway there, sir. You're attending a conference and have a question for the speaker that could potentially impact a project that's been stalled at work. During this question and answer, you consider what is the most important information you hope to learn. You provide a detailed explanation of what you want to ask. You raise your hand immediately and phrase questions on behalf of everyone in the room, or you jot down your question and make a mental note to ask them later.
Oh no, let's go with number one. I wanna find out why. When I'm there, I want to know what I want to know.
Yeah, when it's in your head, right?
Heck yeah.
Every Saturday morning, you take your pup to the dog park, where you see many of the same folks. When someone approaches you and asks about your dog, your natural inclination is to answer succinctly and then ask questions about their dog. Tell a detailed story about how you got your dog. Entertain those gathered with amusing stories about your dog. Or wear your earbuds and keep your eyes glued to your phone.
Let's go with, if I got to pick one, I'll go with A. Just because otherwise I would love to tell like some sort of shocking story that like doesn't actually apply to anything, but makes it just sound overly sensational where people are like, what? I'm like, I know it's crazy.
It's your turn to lead the weekly update video conference, right? That says for your remote team of 10 people. Halfway through the meeting, your slides stop loading and stop working. You keep your cool and continue. You can and promise to send the slides later. You continue.
Let's roll with that one. Yeah.
Okay, you're like, shut up, Chandler. We don't need those other choices. And last one, your coworker and friend, we'll call it Chandler, was presenting a new strategy to upper management and didn't go well. Chandler sends you a message later and asks you how you did. Your response is to compliment Chandler on what he did well, give him a structured blow-by-blow critique, focus on the parts he covered well with some vague comments about being off, or say, I think it was fine, but you might want to ask someone else who knows more. What did you say?
I'll probably do the first one, even though I might I like the third one about we all have off days, but I might phrase it differently. But I like the first one.
Oh, you didn't want to have a drink later? So you, sir, your spontaneous speaking style is the handler. And let me see what I got. I think I got the handler as well.
Not the Chandler.
It sounds like Chandler. Oh,
Chandler's the handler.
Chandler. I closed that slide. I'm pretty sure I'll have to take out this little quiet.
That's one of the questions, right? That's one of the questions right there. The slides are down. What do you do?
I'm just managing it or winging it. Yeah, I got handler as well. We both got handler, sir. Which means we have a clear tone appropriate for the situation and audience. We can be concise and easily understood, and we like to be engaging and open. I don't feel like reading this, but there's tips for handlers, but that's pretty cool. Would you like to do that, Danny, or would you like to go to our next part?
No, I think Choey did a very good job, and my answers would have been mirrored his mostly, I think.
Okay, last one. So we kind of did this. Choey and I like to be problem solvers, right? Choey, we gripe about stuff, but let's come with solutions. It may not be the greatest, but it's still out there, right? Next time you have a speaking engagement, Choey and I came up with some possible jokes you might want to use.
Okay.
You see this, Choey? Are you looking at slide 232?
I did. This is what you had me pick the jokes.
Yeah, well, you pick some, I pick some. Yeah. See, again, I keep you only halfway in the light.
I know. I didn't know. Dark. I didn't know where the jokes were coming from, but yeah.
All right. Do you remember which one's yours? Because you can read yours if you want first.
I remember. I picked two of them. Right? Is what you had me do? I picked two of them.
Yeah, you picked two of them.
So I know that one of them was public speaking is easy. It's like riding a bike. The bike is on fire. You're on fire. Everything is on fire, and you're in hell. Everything is on fire.
Yeah, I remember that one.
I don't remember. I'm going to look at the other two. I don't remember what the other one was.
I'll just read the others. Here's one. If you happen to break wind while you're speaking, just say, "I'm not a nervous public speaker. I just have a very expressive colon." You know, the tip for you. Need that. So we do the drums every time, right? Can you do your drum? There you go. Public speaking tip. Imagine the audience naked, but not if you're giving a eulogy. I like this. I was going to tell a time traveling joke during my speech, but you didn't like it. So I changed my mind. I'm not saying I'm a great public speaker, but I did once get a standing ovation because I tripped over the microphone cord. And I think the last one was my favorite. I once gave a speech on procrastination. The audience is still waiting for the punchline, you know?
Hey.
And that's Choey and Chandler in a nutshell, right? Just goofballs. But we're almost at summer break there, Danny.
You must be excited. That's great.
I have somebody asked. I'm not at that point where I'm starting to count down, but it's getting. I like to do it in single digits. We're almost there.
Nice.
Choey, anything you want to add before we do a social media plug?
No, I just want to. Make sure because I know we'll say after we pull the plug, but I just want to say thank you so much, Danny, for coming on. I enjoyed it. Like some of my favorite things, honestly, to do is even just like driving from place to place, listen to talk radio and listen to people that like, they're good. They're, masters of their craft, good in their area, and hearing your stuff was actually really good. And I really liked it. So I want to say thank you for coming on with it.
Thank you, Choey. Thank you, Chandler. Hopefully I'll see you in ESC 20 if you're in the San Antonio area.
Hey.
What is that?
Region 20.
We're not anymore. Yeah, we're not Region 30. I couldn't think of the region. We're not. I know. I'm not. My district is in Region 20 now. I hope the next one is. But yeah, cool.
No, it is. You are.
Okay. But yeah, Danny, I want to say thank you too. Would you possibly like to come back in the future and just share something else?
Sure thing.
Like pop in here and there. All right, cool. Real quick, you can follow us on Facebook, X, TikTok, YouTube. Well, actually, yeah, you can follow us on YouTube. I can't remember if YouTube was at Choey and Jan, CHOEY, the letter NJAN, but it might be. And then Threads and Insta, we're Choey and Jan 2, TOO. I'm sorry, there's a lot of things on my plate, Choey.
I just like, what I think is the most fun thing before you pull the plug is the fact that like when you go back and listen to the episodes and you talk about I gotta edit this, most of the time those I gotta edit these things still make it in. So it's like you don't actually edit them.
I do edit because you always tell me no, keep it in, keep it in, keep it in.
It's just funny.
We do it for you. We do it for you. All right, let me pull the plug for our episode. There it is.